afternoon, investors, fund managers, analysts, I guess from around the world. NIRVANA DAII would like to come and introduce the company. I have a pleasure of having the CEO next to me. Not only CEO, but also the founder of the original company. I will go through the business model, company profile per se, and then we will entertain questions toward the end. We'll make it brief so that we have more time for the questions. Let's start from this slide. We are a company within Sing Corporation Group. It's actually a residential arm of the Sing Estate. Okay, as you may know, Sing Corporation has been involved in beverage company for already over 80 years. They started with the property business with Sing Estate, which they hold about 72%, and Sing Estate hold us about 52%. Okay, gentleman next to me here, Kun Sornsak Somwathana, owns 18% of the company for the moment. Okay, the rest is about 30% being publicly listed. Okay, in terms of market share, we're talking about 150 million as per March 13 last week. Asset size around almost 400 million baht. We like to call ourselves a hybrid high-end property developer with prefabricated construction services, which means we not only develop projects, but also we provide turnkey construction service, okay, to other sectors, not just the residential property sectors, in hospitalities and what have you. It's a merger between NIRVANA Development and another listed company prior to this called DAII Group. We merged since January 2017. Subsequent to the merger, there was a big recapitalization. DAII Group, which was the current entity, at that point was we're talking about 130 million baht in terms of registered capital. We raised that to about 1.4 billion baht, so about 10 times. Obviously, our ultimate goal is to rebuild return on equity. And a couple of ways that we are doing is through land acquisition strategy. I'll expand that a little bit more in the slides. We talk a lot about partnerships and collaboration. We'll explain that as well. And just like others, we try to build recurring income business also. The strategic direction in terms of quality of growth, meaning we want to be able to deliver growth with earning stabilities. Okay, so that means there are supposed to be many revenue income streams. Okay, the first one is the typical property market, property sectors, which is developed for sale. That is, you buy land, you develop the land, and you sell with the house and townhouse, what have you. Okay, I'll go through a lot of pictures so that you have a sense of what we develop and sell. Okay, let's start with the first segment, which is single detached houses. Okay, this is the kind of house that we built. Kun Sornsak right here designed it from day one. Okay, design meaning, inputs the functionalities. He's not actually an architect, but he inputs the functionality into this. It's not a typical square or rectangle shaped houses. It's a C-shaped house. Basically, we want to make sure that people who live in this house can live in nicely with natural lights and wind and breeze coming through the windows. There are 4 ways cross ventilation in the house. There's an inner courtyard that the homeowner can actually go out and use. In Thailand, the backyard is not like in the US or in the international country. We use backyard for service area, for laundry, for kitchen. So it's not really can be used in Thailand. In the front is we're talking about privacy which is not really there. There always be someone walking around driving by the house. So that's why we built an inner courtyard so you can go out and sip on coffee on Sunday morning in your pajama. That's in an extreme example. 2 cases of stairways. You can go in up to the second floor from the inside or can go directly to the second floor from the outside. Once you go up, there will be a high ceiling living room on the second floor. That means your guests can come directly to the second floor without having to bother the first, whoever live in the first floor, which we intended to be the first generation of the house. Basically, my mother's or father's generation. Okay, they live in the downstairs, close to the food area, I say, meaning kitchen and the dining room, okay, pantry and what have you. So the second floor is for the homeowner itself, which is like, segment would be yuppie segment, if I can use that word for clarity of the target market. The master bedroom is separated from the living room on the second floor with a bridge. See, this is one thing that we put in so that you can imagine sharing the living room floor to the master bedroom. There's no privacy. If a guest coming in, your friends coming in watching football games at 2 o'clock in the morning, your wife trying to sleep inside. So this is the way we separate the function of the space by creating privacy as well. You go up the staircase, you go to the 3rd floor, and you can see there are 2 bedrooms connected with a common area in the middle. Okay, so basically these are for the kids to live, not only during their childhood time, but also all the way up to even after they get married, before they're having a kid. Because each room has its own bath inside, study area, closet, everything. Along with that, there's also balconies. So 4-way cross ventilation still works all the way up here to the 3rd floor. So briefly, this is the kind of single detached house that we develop and sell. Just to see what it looks like from the outside. This is just one of the models that we provide, which is about already 10 years old, 11 years old. This structure has been designed for 10 years old. This is a bridge that we talked about, connecting the living room with the master bedroom. You can see the inner courtyard down. In this case, is a small pool. Yeah. Dining room. You see all the lights coming in. The landscape outside with the trees. The high ceiling living room with a bridge. This is another type, the big type, which is the living room. That's another picture of the bridge. Bedroom, second bedroom. Just to get some idea, the second segment of product is townhouse. This is what we call townhouse in our definition. It's not a typical same height kind of a block. Actually, these are type A and type B. You can see type A has 3.5 story with an open space on the 3rd floor, okay, and full floor plate on the 4th floor, which means you can do your barbecue, afternoon barbecue, even with the rain coming down. Thailand, we're talking about 6 months of rain, so if you want to do things outdoor, there's supposed to be, I think, some roof covering it. Okay. Again, this townhouse was built on the same concept as the single detached house. It's a C shape actually. Okay, you can see the open space right here. There's a void in the middle, reaching all the way down to the garage on the bottom floor. That's to provide light and winds to go through the townhouse, even if you live in the townhouse. Okay, so that's the kind of get some idea of what we do for townhouse. Open space, double ceiling, bedroom. Okay. The third segment is what we call home office. Okay, home office is a commercial block. Okay, 40 meters long block. We talking only 5 units. So the frontage for bigger unit is 8 meters. Okay, so 8 meters, 6 meters for the big type B, smaller one. 8, 6, 6, 6, 8, so 5 units. Okay, walk into the front door. This is the kind of space we provide. It's basically a small office for a successful startup company. Okay, obviously young generation, upcoming kind of workplace. There's a common space where you can have lunch, you can meet your supplier for small meetings. There's a stadium for town hall where the MD can brief the teams on how, to strategic direction or whatever. Go up the stairs. This is what you see when you walk, see down from the stairs. There's some small meeting space upstairs as well. This is the area where the company, everyone unite. There's recreation area. You can climb the cliff there with what you call a simulated kind of cliff, with the MD sitting on the glass window on the higher floor there. This is the open space for the workplace. The fourth floor is actually a penthouse for the owner of the company. So it's full package penthouse, living room, dining room, kitchen, bedrooms. Okay. I think about last year we launched a brand new home office, which is what we call independent units or standalone. What we just saw was a block of 5 units clustered in together. But this one is actually 4-story with a standalone. You have your own parking of about 6 spots on the bottom floor. And we're talking almost 520 square meters of workspace, 4-story with 1 bedroom on the top floor as well. So another choice of home office that we offer. Lastly, in terms of develop for sale is condominium. This is our first and probably the only ultra luxury segment condominium. It's a 45-story freehold riverfront condominium right along the bank of Chao Phraya River. It's a 70% JV project with the landowner. Okay. In terms of location, we try to put a map right here. We're on the Thonburi side of the river, overlooking the CBD. Okay, on the right side and looking at the old town on the left side. 45 stories. We talking. Maybe I'll save that for a little bit later. We use branded residence. Okay, Banyan Tree is the brand that we use. Basically, we want to establish the qualities that we are talking about 5 or 6 stars hotel level of service. Okay, contractors is the French contractor DAII. Okay, the designer consultancy, we talking about the experience high-rise designer, which is SCDA. 45 stories, we're talking only 133 units. Okay, tranquility is basically meaning this is exclusive in terms of units. We're talking maximum of 4 units per floor of plate. Okay, every single unit is riverfront. Okay, rarity is because is from the fact that this is one of the condominiums that has the older permits. Okay, if you apply for a condominium permit today, the setback from the river is 40 meters, 40. Okay, but for us, because it's an older permit, we set back only 16 meters from the river. So what special about that is the corner units will always stay corner unit. Nobody will be blocking your view, okay, if you're on the corner units. So that's rare. It's very difficult to find riverfront, 100% riverfront condominium in Bangkok of these close to the river. Impeccable qualities already went through that. We use international world-class kind of providers, contractors, and in terms of furniture, it's the modern Italian polyform furnitures. This is what I meant by maximum of 4 units per floor. Each unit equipped with 2 elevators. So basically, you come to the lobby floor, you put in your card. There will be only yourself going up to that floor. Okay, it's private. 2 elevators, meaning one service others, and the other one will be available for you to use. Okay, the black area here is the service area. So the compressor, the hot coil air conditioning system will not be on your balcony. They all stuffed right in the black area in the back. So the 8 meters wide 1 bedroom unit is all open up for the view only. Okay, so that's another special thing about this condominium. That is what it looks like from the side. This is actually pretty much the view that you could see from Icon Siam. Okay, we are talking only 5-minute boat rides to the Icon Siam, another 5-minute boat rides to the Chinatown, downtown Bangkok, for very delicious street foods, if you have appetite for that. Very convenient. Okay, we have shuttle boats sending you back and forth to the train station as well. And by the way, there'll also be a private train station right along the road that we are on as well. Extra convenience for you. Quality in terms of hotel service. Okay, you can cater in Michelin star chef from Banyan Tree to cook for your own private dinner, because we also have a private dining area as a facility on the 2nd floor. That's what it looks like with the polyform, modern Italian polyform furniture in it. Okay, so just to give you a sense of condominium that we develop. That would be the one and probably only ultra segment that I mentioned earlier. Going forward, condominium will be more of the high-end segment, which is more in line with the landed project like single house or townhouse in terms of design. The things that we're talking about, income, recurring income. Okay, since the merger with DAII Group, prior to this, they were manufacturer of building material. They provide precasted fencing material. Okay, and along with that, they provide also home building services. Okay, under the brand of Ginza Home. So obviously they have prefabricated factories outside of Bangkok. After the merger, we try to use everything that DAII has. Okay, so we intend to extend the home building service of DAII through home building service, which we provide not only on the project basis, but also not only on the retail basis, but also on the project basis. We are pushing ahead more on the project basis, which we call turnkey solution for partnership project management. Basically, what that means is, if a landowner has a land on an area doesn't have, well, usually it has to be prime because of the fact that our products tend to be on the high-end side. So if the landowner has a prime area in there, sitting in the back, doing nothing, okay, they could come to us and provide, we could provide what we call turnkey solution, which means end-to-end service, starting from master plan and project design. So we put the layout of the project, how many houses should be there, how you should put the facilities and clubhouse and blah, blah, blah. Then we provide constructions and quality control services. After that, sales and marketing. After that, transfer of the ownership plus the customer services, and all the way down to the after sales and home care when a homeowner at that point has some problem with the homes. So that's what we call turnkey. There are 4 applicable products that available at the moment, which is NIRVANA Beyond, which is the top end of our single detached home at the moment. NIRVANA Icon is 2 stories single detached home. NIRVANA Intro actually should be changed to NIRVANA Element. Okay, it's a brand new product that we'll be launching this year. And NIRVANA at Work, which is the independent unit, which I already talked about earlier. It's actually a win-win-win situation here. The first win is for the landowner. They, instead of selling the land at the no value added price, with all the development of facilities and things, they can sell the land at maybe double or triple the price. Okay, that's for the first win. Second win is for the consumer. They don't have to pay the double margins. Usually when developer buy land from the landowner, we would have to make extra margin on that land as well. But in this case, consumer buy lands directly from the owner. We only provide the home building service. And this is better than retail home building service in the sense that we manage 40 to 80 units all at one place. Okay, not you know, you can imagine OPEX for running this kind of thing is much more efficient. So that's basically what, and you know, in terms of the last win, which is for the NVD itself, we don't have to have that much capital employed. We can just build show unit of 3 units and that's it. No need to take out the loan and buy the land and hope for that land to be selling and project to be selling well. In this case, we can take time to sell, raise the price when it's possible, and enjoy the extra margin both for us and for the landowner himself. Okay. This is a picture of the first project as an example. It's in Udon Thani, which is one province in the northeast of Thailand. Okay, this is a 10-rai size land. We're talking 14 units of brand new NIRVANA Beyond. It's scheduled to be launched in the next 2 weeks. Okay, starting with the exclusive sales first. We did test the market actually. We did a VVIP sales event in October. Demand is very promising. Out of 14 units, we sold already 9 without and at this condition, without sample house, which is pretty phenomenal for a single detached home project selling without the sample house. Next one, which I was trying to explain earlier, construction services. We not only stick with the residential market, we actually provide construction service for hospitality as well. This is actually a crossroad project of Sing Estate. Actually, this island will be Hard Rock Hotel. Okay, they're developing this mixed-use, huge $300 million mixed-use project, very close to the capital of Maldives. What we're providing is this precast structure that you can see right here. Okay, basically building one-story unit of beach villa is very simple for us. So with precast, that makes it much more sense for hotel developers, for the sense that it's fast. You know, our IRR for them would be tweaked up quite nicely when you can bring in the income faster. So that's the additional thing that we think we have futures in this kind of business as well. And also other sector like such as telecom. This is actually a structure for provincial internet in the remote area that the government tried to put it out there as part of Thailand 4.0. So telecom company needs someone to do the civil engineering for them and construction. So we offer that we do that for them. And I guess let's just go through here. This is another type. Actually, it's a dormitory of a recreational park. Okay, this is where the workers stays. Again, very simple structure, very applicable to use prefabrication construction. We provide that service as well. Okay, and lastly, which is the direct recurring income. We try to build parking structure. Okay, I guess buying land in the heart of Bangkok is getting harder and harder to find, while the SkyTrain, the electric trains, are reaching out further to the outskirts of Bangkok. There will always be a need for parking space for them to park the car and ride the train into the center of the cities. So our business model here is we try to find lands that are close enough to the train station, but the landowner doesn't want to sell. Okay, and usually they want to lease out on a long-term basis. 25 years, 30 years, we can put up this very structure, simple structure, using our factories, casting it from the factory, carrying it to the site, and constructing it. We can do this relatively quickly and very minimal in terms of interiors. Actually, none interior at all. So very low capital intensive, low capex, I should say. That's pretty much in brief of the revenue stream. We have on the bottom here is you can kind of see the white area here. We're talking about 200 plus rise of land bank. Okay, there are some pieces which are too small and too close to the road, which is not that applicable for project. So we, at some point, we do sell this land, partially developed, you know, with landfills and things. So that's additional revenue stream that comes in once in a while from time to time to fill in the gaps of fluctuation. That's part of the quality of growth that we want to deliver. I will not go into detail of activities for the year, but basically let me just highlight a few things. We launched Banyan Tree, the ultra luxury condominium, earlier last year. We launched the second townhouse, which is NIRVANA defined, which we saw the pictures earlier this year. Those are the revenue generators for this year. The townhouse is. Condominium will be contributors to the performance starting from fourth quarter all the way into fourth quarter of this year. We acquired 2 more pieces of land for 2 more condominiums. These are not big, but they are in a very high potential location. We take the point that condominium market for next year, for this year or for next year, may not be the best place to be in. But if you know about this one, it's something that you cannot refuse. Maybe if we have time, I can put that slide up. So we have 2 more pieces of land to develop condominium. We launched, soft launched the turnkey project in Udon Thani. We started to transfer first 11 units of the 18 units of the Banyan Tree condominium. In terms of financials, we're talking about 3 billion baht on the top line for the full year 2018, which is growing about 16% from the year before, and the year before growing about 90% from 2016. The good news is that there is uptrending in terms of gross margin. Okay, we usually average around 30 to 31%. For 2018, we average about 35, almost 37. Contributors of that is the Banyan Tree, the condominium, which drag up the, we got the land relatively at, 10 years ago, very low price. And as I mentioned, we partner with the landlord. So that's how we achieve, obviously for the condominium, which is like maybe 1/4 of the revenue last year, we talk less than 1/4, actually 1/10 of the revenue last year. We're talking about 35% on average in terms of margin. So you can imagine the margin for the condominium itself is much higher than this. In terms of net margins, we are able to deliver about 52% growth in terms of net profit. This is consolidated net profit, 324 million baht. Net margin climb up to double digits, 11%. Not good enough, but it's an improvement. We intend to drive the net margin higher than this. We'll not go into detail of this in the interest of time. We can discuss this further in maybe conference call after this. Let me just clear out a few things in terms of other issues. We issued warrants in July last year, 1-to-1 exercise ratio, 5 to 1 in terms of conversion ratio. Exercise price 8 baht, 3 years maturities. Warrant price was 0. This is last until May 2019. In terms of dividend, we did pay interim dividend in November of 11 stangs. Okay, and then the board of directors approved additional 8 stang during the 4th quarter last year, and this will be subject to shareholders approval in the AGM in April. Okay, if that goes through, it would translate to a yield of about 4 to 5% dividend yield. In terms of business direction, 2019 will focus in about 3 areas. Okay, in terms of modern living design, we will not only just design and develop residential project, but we're talking about design communities because of the fact that we have a huge land bank, 200 rights land bank. We will have to develop more than just houses. There will be mall, there will be wellness kind of facilities as well. We will relaunch a flagship product this year. We will have 3 new brands adding to the portfolio, which will extend the target market for us, lower in the more mass market on the one side and higher end on the other side. Communities, okay, full range of housing, commercial, recreation area, workspace, open space and park. We call it internally as a code name is Krungthep Grita Township. It's the area of the land bank that we have. There will be recreation lifestyle communities on one side. There will be wellness communities on the other side. This is basically to complement the residential housing project behind it, to enable us to better sales the project. In terms of relaunch of the flagship product, we went through pictures of NIRVANA Beyond, which we mentioned 10 years old. This year, we relaunched NIRVANA, all new NIRVANA Beyond. Okay, you can see on the picture on the bottom right-hand corner right here, you can see the living room is twisted, making a diagonal alignment to the top and the bottom floor. This is to create different space, very unusual kind of space. One of the core competencies of our company, the core value for the company is we want to be creatively unconventional. We want to be trendsetters. 10 years ago when we launched 3 stories home, no one believed in 3 stories home building. I'm sorry, 3 stories single detached home. Okay, but we started it and we worked on it and we became successful. We were the leader in terms of 3 stories house. Now there are a lot of people doing that. Now we have to progress further in terms of design and functionalities. These are the 2 more pictures of the type middle size and the smaller size. Lastly is the new brand. The 2 stories, I'm sorry, this is the condominium first. Low rise, 8-story condominium called the Most by NIRVANA. Will be high-end condominium, low rise. Not exactly like Banyan Tree that we just saw, but this is more of a really intended segment that we want to address. Okay, we'll come back to you when we come closer to the launch, then you can see the real pictures. This is a new NIRVANA element, which is also applicable for turnkey solution. It's a 2 stories new redesign of the Ginza home by DAII. We built on that foundation, but put in the Scandinavian gable design in front as a facade. And so it gives a new sense of space, new product. And this is on the high end. This is a single detached home, which is higher segment than NIRVANA Beyond. This is still on the drawing board. When we have more development, we'll come back to you. After this would be about innovation. Innovation through convenient living space, relaxing living, connecting. Innovation for us is not only smart home. We're talking about the way you live your life in your house as well. In terms of eco and health, drain water from sink or from bathtub can be recycled, simple recycle and used in the garden. Yeah, so to conserve the water, for example. Cross ventilations, we already talked about that since the inception of NIRVANA Beyond. Security is not only for your door, but also for the gate when guests coming in, face recognition, QR code, and what have you. We put all in. And lastly is the privilege from the family. We bundle everything, service and products and services within our group, Bunrod Brewery Group, being hotel, resort, activities at the recreation park in the north, entertainment, concerts, and blah, 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 lifestyle, restaurant. Homeowners that are customers can enjoy this kind of package. We will bundle that all into this kind of thing. So obviously, we're talking about doing all these, achieving all these with partnerships. We cannot be doing all of this by ourselves. We enable this with partnership. Quickly on some numbers. Backlog at the end of the year, we're talking about 2.2 billion backlog, which will be recognized into revenue within this year. Define, we sold about almost 100% of the phase 1 already. Selling well, we're not building fast enough to sell. Banyan Tree high margin products will be realizing revenue this year, most likely in the first half. This is a bigger picture of the most by NIRVANA, the low-rise condominium. There's another one in another area, still on a drawing board. This is just a guide picture. The first NIRVANA Beyond in partnership with Daiwa House Industry of Japan will be launched in the next 2 weeks. NIRVANA Udon Thani turnkey solution will be launched at about the same time in Udon Thani. This is a better view of the beach villa that we built for Sing Estate. This is the work in progress of the parking structure that we built ourselves for the park and ride business as a recurring income. Land bank, 228 rights worth about, at today's price, worth about 35 billion baht. This is enough land bank for us for the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, that's the schedule of the project launch for this year. Sorry to push it very fast. So hopefully we have enough time for the questions. I think we have a few, huh? Yes. Okay. The first one, maybe I'll read the questions. What will be the area of focus for the company's strategy?
As I may say, what the strategy that we focus on from this year forward is not only the residential development that we require to have a land bank, but actually we try to develop together with the communities with the recurring income for our company also. So as you see in the Krungthep Kitha Township, there's a couple projects in there. There's a solo product in there, and also the promising recurring income together with it. That what the focus that we shortly working on right now.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how could you please describe very briefly average clients of Banyan Tree? Who are they?
There's a two sides. One is there's a very popular on the foreigner, especially from Hong Kong. They love the condominium a lot, and half of the buyer is Hong Kong people. Another half is a Thai actually. High net worth people. And it's high end, but it's not that to be that rich to buy actually. A lot of people what we found really strange is for the people who actually getting older and the kid is already moved out, they just don't want to be in the single house anymore and live by the river. For Thai people is a dream. So that's an answer. There are several retirement people who bought it with that cash actually.
Yeah, it's as we highlight, it's a very private. You're not really seeing other people because you have your own private life. So it can be mix of different segments together. Young crowd and retired crowd can be in the same building.
Yeah.
Okay. Margins between the single detached home and townhouse sales, I would say about the same.
We do almost the same. Because of the townhouse, most of the project size is small, so it cannot be double up the margin. But I think as so far we got the same.
Yeah. Modern products, they're pretty much in the range of about 35% margins. In pretty much across from
all the product.
Yes, including the turnkey as well. Providing the economics of turnkey solution would be we don't recognize the sales of land. Landowner takes that portion. We only take the revenue from home building service, which has equal amount of margins. Next question is what's your 5 years business plan, especially revenue growth?
I think as we mentioned that we have a quite potential land bank, almost enough to grow for 5 years. But actually, along the way, we would acquire more. And in additional, I think the turnkey solution, which we already signed 4 projects this year, would be very promising growth for our business plan. I think we can deliver the minimum of 25 on growth from this year forward.
Two more. Can we have 2 more questions? Okay. Please comment on potential competitors in your focus area. What's the barrier of entry? I guess would be Kunteprita area.
I believe the modern house,
okay.
modern house, and the segment that we are in. We are in a very wonderful segment, and to identify the competitor, it can be anyone, but the barrier of entry is quite tough because this kind of market you need to have a very in-depth understanding of customer behavior, which NIRVANA have been done for quite some time. We work on the customized house. We got a requirement from the customer. I think more than a couple of hundred houses in the specific market or segment. So we don't find anyone yet as a potential competitor on our market. But yeah, everyone can be, but not in exact segment.
Okay. Lastly, the dividend policy and potential to increase the payout. We just changed the dividend policies to 40% of the consolidated net profit last year. The board approved that, the shareholder approved that. Any potential to increase in the next few years? I guess we stay here for a while.
Because this is a minimum number that at we pay last year is almost 90% of the profits already. So to increase the payoff is not unnecessary.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, I guess that's it. Time's out. There's a contact detail right here on the slide. Any more questions or any need to set up conference call, please do so. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.